Before she ruled our shelves, she ruled Etheria. Let's take a trip back to the legendary world of She-Ra, Princess of Power. Like with He-Man, I never watched She-Ra, Princess of Power growing up. I was in high school at the time and had other interests, but this year I finally checked out a few episodes. I originally missed out on grabbing the She-Ra Timed Edition directly from Mondo. It sold out pretty quickly. But after recently picking up the regular edition of Teela, which I reviewed in another video if you want to check it out, I knew I had to track down She-Ra 2. Luckily, I found a sealed Timed Edition, complete with a replacement head, at a really fair price. Even better, it was actually cheaper than the going rate on the secondary market. So let's get to unboxing. Before we jump into the unboxing, I wanted to show you the one and only MOTU figure my parents got me when I was a kid. My original Skeletor, still hanging on after all these years. Today we're unboxing the MondoShe-Ra 1/6 scale Timed Edition figure, complete with a replacement head, as you saw there. This collectible absolutely channels the power of Etheria. Yeah, Mondo really nailed the box art, completely beautifully capturing the essence of She-Ra's world. As we lift the sleeve, you can definitely kind of see the artwork on there. Definitely beautiful looking illustration of She-Ra and all her surrounding supporting characters. And on the other sides, you can see here, it's pretty much a similar image, just with a nice little pink overlay color. Really nicely done. Yeah, we'll just kind of spin this around. You kind of see those three magnets in there. So there's a magnetic front flap that opens. So we'll see that here in a little bit. But yeah, as we turn it around, you can kind of see all the different characters in there, and all the supporting characters. Some of the bad guys in there, and some of the, yeah, even the close up there, even a little more. Yeah, definitely cool. Definitely, I forget some of the, I just remember seeing that one with the little pincher right there. I remember, and you can see it's exclusive, little Mondo exclusive mark there. And as we open up the magnetic flap, it reveals a striking photo, which we'll take a look on the other side, on the left side, the figure, which is right there. The figure on the inside, really nice, and the window display and showing She-Ra and all the accessories. So as we've removed this clamshell, another nice detail, the artwork continues inside the packaging. So to add another extra layer of presentation that fans will appreciate for sure. So the first thing we're going to look at here is we're going to look at the display stand. Let's take out that display stand there. And the one thing I've noticed here, and some people I think mentioned it, and I've seen other videos, it is awfully small, the base. Especially if you want to, display She-Ra more, with a greater, more fighting, powerful stance. Not very much real estate. I mean, the only good thing about this stand, if you have very limited space, like say one of your deep top shelves or some other shelf space, it doesn't take very much shelf space. You're trying to, if you got a lot of figures on the shelf like I do, it's pretty nice in that regard. But I think it's kind of interesting that the really nice, cool, I assume it's a Mondo M maybe logo is in the bottom of the base. But yeah, it's fairly small. And I think with the Teela figure I reviewed just recently, I think they rectified that maybe criticism, I guess, maybe some of the fans and who've owned this one that they wanted a wider, bigger base. So they answered that, I think, with the Teela figure. But overall, I don't really mind it, honestly. And I think I'm going to, like I did with Teela, that waist grabber, I think I'm going to replace that with the crotch grabber. So, but first of all, we'll put that in. And then first, the next little item here we're going to look at is her the battle standard hair with basically the sheath opening in it. So it's kind of nicely detailed plastic. So there's a nice additional optional hair. So you got your battle standard hair, which is on her, and then the sheath opening right there for the sheath. And then looking at her Tiara. This is her, pretty much I think her classic Tiara. Really nice. We'll put that on the figure and at the near the end of the video, kind of showing her all the different looks that's the different accessories are provided. So yeah, really nicely done. Paint. It's all plastic, and there's our little small hair piece for the for that particular Tiara. So yeah, very nice, very very simple. And here's her waist armor. What do you want to call that? There. That's for the classic again, the classic look, and we'll assemble that, put that on a figure. So another nice detail, nice painting. Not too bad. Very nicely detailed. It's pretty much, and here is her power sword. Her classic sword, I should say. This is a classic sword you probably saw in the cartoons. So very, yeah, pretty rigid, made of plastic, nicely detailed. And here's another Tiara. This is her, I'm assuming this is basically her battle, probably standard, her battle Tiara. Because I'm trying to figure out, I think the other one is just a Tiara, I think her classic one that's pretty much, I don't know, specifically made with this particular look that they did on this She-Ra. So she's got 3 different Tiaras you want to, different looks you want to put on her. And again, the detail on this is very nice. The paint application is also well done. And it's definitely got some flexibility, which you want to get those little pegs that'll go into the side of her head. And then you can see the other piece in the front. And now let's take a look at some additional accessories here. We're going to look at the sword, some of the hands, even Kowl's in there too. That's part of the timed edition. He's another exclusive in there. Yeah, so very nice accessories here. So the first one we're going to look at her 3 pairs of interchangeable hands. This is pretty much her, probably a holder sword. And then you got her gripping hands. So yeah, just fairly simple, nice that they include additional posing options. And there is her battle axe comb, which is kind of cool how they added that. That's pretty cool in the very bottom. I like that detail. Very nicely done. Really well done. The paint is pretty nicely done, and the sculpt on this, just another nice little piece to it. So I don't know if I'll keep this on her. I might try it, put it on her, and there's her regular her power sword. This is the fancy one. This is actually like it's nice painted, a little bit different sculpt to it. This is kind of, and this actually will fit in the sheath there. That's kind of meant for that. And her classic power sword does not fit in that. So that's pretty much made for that newer style sword. There's her shield. Very nicely, very nice detail on that as well. Nice little paint, little emerald, I guess, there. And there's her little straps. Are kind of molded in there. Rubber, kind of definitely have some good flex in there. Again, the paint application on this is nicely done. Yeah, just the detail on this. Again, all these accessories are really well done. So Mondo, hats off to that part. I mean, very nicely done. And here is the exclusive figure that comes with the timed edition. This is Kowl. So yeah, nicely detailed. Good paint work on him. The sculpt's pretty represents her little sidekick there. Yeah, very nicely done. Just a really cool little figure, cool little creature. And the only articulation on this is pretty limited. The legs do not move, but the arms do move, swivel. So at least there's some limited articulation for this accessory. So yeah, nothing else moves in him. The head doesn't turn or anything, which with those ears molded. So yeah, so not too bad. Pretty cool little additional piece to this figure. Now let's take a look at the figure. And as you can see, unfortunately, right out of the box, the left leg disconnected just below the knee during shipment or during packing at the factory. Not sure. Not what you want to see from a premium figure at this price point, but we'll get that put back on. We'll probably maybe snap it right back in. And as you can see, and here's why Mondo offered a replacement head. Many units had noses flattened from the clamshell packaging. You can see mine was affected too, but instead of swapping it out, I used a mini heat gun to carefully soften the plastic to reshape the nose. So it actually bounced back pretty well, as you can see there. Yeah. So, yep. Don't need to use that replacement head. Pretty much that didn't come with it. You had to request that from customer service. I guess a little later on I heard that, as you saw, mine did have that the flattened nose because of the clamshell. But yeah, I fixed it with a little heat. It came right back in. It took not even less than a minute. It just popped right back in. Just a little heat on it. Not a very low setting, and yeah, no need to use a replacement head. So just be aware of it if you buy this on the aftermarket, and it doesn't come with. If someone didn't order the replacement head, doesn't come with it, and if yours is flattened nose, there's the trick to fix that nose issue. But yeah, limited. Let's look at the articulation here. Yeah, despite those setbacks, let's take a closer look at the articulation. So She-Ra's joints offer, pretty much a solid range. Shoulders, elbows, torso, and knees all above, well, for dynamic posing. So yeah, this one's not too bad. I didn't have to put too much heat on her, like Teela. Pretty much everything, pretty much moves pretty nice. Not very much heat required to get this, loosen these joints. So yeah, this range of motion is not too bad. As you can see, move it up there. And it's kind of, let's see, do some more demonstration. There it is right there. Yep. So it's a nice range of movement in her arm. So for some nice dynamic posing you want to do of her on the shelf. And we'll do some more. Yeah, just a beautiful figure. I mean, it's just a really nice looking figure. And just the waist, very limited. She does move a little bit. There are some restrictions in there, so she does have a little bit, little leeway in the waist for articulation. The legs, again, here, it's going to be limited how much far you can spread them out just because of her clothing, her outfit she's using, the skirt there. And I love the double jointed knees here. Definitely nice range. Gives you a good range of movement for her bending her knee. And her pretty much her ankles. Again, pretty decent. Nice range of movement there. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, not as loose as Teela's ankles were. Again, you can only spread it so far just because of the skirt, the limitations there. But yeah, decent range of movement. We'll show that pretty much. Yeah, not too bad at all. Looks pretty good. And then there's the back of her showing her double joints there. You can get that back in focus there. Looking there, and then nice wrist articulation as well for her hands. And yeah, just beautifully. I mean, just a beautiful little paint. And there's the other Tiara. And yeah, we'll do a here in a little bit. We'll take this off, and now here's one of my favorite features: the wired cape. Fully lined, so you can see where you put those little metal clips. Put them right in there, not on the other side, but yeah, they're there. That's how they're supposed to be on there. So nice, the wire clips. It really adds a nice touch of drama to any stance. So whether she's in battle or standing proud, the cape sells the moment, as you can say. But yeah, let's put on the shield pretty easily. And what's kind of nice, the wrist pegs come off very easily. No, trying to struggle to get them off. Everything goes in really nice. I love like I said, you can definitely see there's going to be some issues of you got to keep that shield up or it's going to slip right off her forearm. But yeah, let's get her sword in there. So we're going to do here in a little bit, we're going to do a 360 degree view. She's going to show pretty much here she's pretty fully assembled, standing tall, cape flowing, details popping. So it's pretty nice to get whatever pose you can get the cape in. So yeah, Mondo blended the classic look with modern sculpting beautifully. So she definitely commands attention on the shelf. So it's definitely just a beautiful piece. Yeah, I mean, there she is with right out of the box with her outfit, the cape, about as best I can. I'm sure there's some more posing, more her cape, get it a little more flowing. I didn't want to spend too much time, but just kind of show you some of the dynamic posing you can do with the cape. Just a beautiful figure overall. I think, like I said, I think Mondo is supposed to come out. They're coming out with a new one, another She-Ra with her Swiftwind, I think is the horse as well. I might end up picking up the new She-Ra figure when it comes out, but I don't know if I'll pick up the horse. I would, but don't have any shelf space, unfortunately, for that big old horse, because I already got some other 1/6 figures on my shelf. But yeah, let's put on the Sheath real quick. Let's see. This was a little, I don't say a struggle, but just trying to get that up. There it is, right there. So you gotta be careful that don't scrape off the paint on there. But yeah, that's what it looks like with the hair with the sheath opening there. But I don't think I'll actually. And we'll put our little. I don't think I'll put keep the sheath on her on display in a shelf. But there's a hair piece, I guess you could put for the classic Tiara. So yeah, very cool. And then people would try to see if they can put it the other way. I think there was a figure that back in the day, I guess, was the other way around. You could put like goggles, I guess, or a mask. But this with that hair piece in the front, it does not work, unfortunately. But that's how it's supposed to be, I guess. But yeah, just a very, very cool, pretty looking figure with the Tiara. Very classic look. Yeah, look at that. We'll get some more close-up looks of her. And then we'll do another 360 with all their other, the classic pieces that she has. So we will spin this around. Again, pose a little cape. Show her the different pieces on here. But yeah, just overall, like I said, if you're made it this far into the video, continue watching it. I really appreciate you sticking around. But yeah, there she is with her classic looking power sword, as you saw if you watched her series, the shows, with the little armor, little piece there, little waist piece. So yeah, I think that's an awesome looking look as well too. So maybe later I may change up the look and have her pose in that look. I mean, either way, man, she's gorgeous. That's a beautiful figure. Just really nice representation of this classic. And what's kind of interesting that this is, I think it came out in 85, She-Ra, the princess yeah, this is the 40th anniversary. So yeah, it's perfect timing. I mean, even though those figures been out for quite a while, and you saw it with the battle axe there. So yeah, just perfect timing. I didn't even realize it's been 40 years since She-Ra came out. But yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, despite the leg issue, this She-Ra figure is definitely a standout piece in the Masters of the Universe line. If you're a fan of the series or just love well-crafted figures, she's a worthy addition for sure. So I would recommend it if you can find her in the aftermarkets. Because like I said, the regular and the timed edition with this one, which this one I just reviewed today, is completely sold out. But like I said, if you can pick one up at a decent fair price, I was really lucky to find one just completely sealed new, and even came with a replacement head that that normally wouldn't come with it. You have to ask via customer service. And actually, but yeah, there she is, side by side next to Teela. She-Ra looks fantastic. Yeah, the scale, the detail, the attitude, Mondo really nailed the vibe of both characters. So together they make an epic duel that brings the MOTU universe to life. And again, thank you for checking out the video. Please subscribe and hit that like button. And until the next one, take care.